Yo, what is going on, everybody? And for the Eagles Nation, welcome to Eagles Talk with me, from Robert from the Philly Sports Talk podcast, and Mr. Jerry from the Backyard Birds podcast. So, what's going on?
You know, just another week waiting for that Eagles football.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Got the mini bye going on.
Yeah, exactly. I think this should really help to kind of just hopefully clear their heads, so to speak. Especially after what went down a couple days ago. Obviously, trading Zach Ertz. And I made a video about this before, and I said this too. It's just like, I knew it was going to happen at some point because we were definitely going to move him. The question was when. The fact that after the Buccaneers game, 24 hours later, they traded to the Cardinals is like, okay. I mean, I would thought, they would at least move him at the trade deadline. That's from what I've been saw, like all the reports and all that stuff. So now it's official that Dallas Goedert is going to be the tight end number one.
Well, we'll see, because Jackson's coming back too.
Yeah, which really which helps as well, because I don't think our tight end core is really has that depth. But having Jackson coming back, I thought Jackson looked pretty solid. And
he did
in his preseason.
But he's still green though, man. So we got a little waiting to do with him, I think.
Oh yeah, because it's like now with the obviously with Miami losing, now we actually had their first round pick. Mm-hmm. So my thing is just like, if we're gonna go in the draft, I'm thinking of the go corner or linebacker, to really get that on, because I don't know nothing much about Tay Gowan and what we got. And I said this too about the Ertz trade. Like, I thought at least we got a third or a fourth for Zach Ertz.
I was thinking the same,
because that was like the best value you can get out of Ertz. I mean, obviously now we got Tay Gowan and a 2022 fit, so we at least have some extra draft capital out of it. So I mean, it can't be that worse.
Right. I don't know. A fourth sounds better than fifth, though.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could find somebody diamond in the rough kind of players, like, I don't know, something like a Josh Sweat, who obviously kind of actually did turn out pretty well, though, despite being a fourth round pick.
Yeah, I mean, you get some later, drafts, like, my lotto was a 7th round, but
yeah,
that's like once in a great while kind of thing. But then again, you never know, because you do strike out a lot on the first rounders. I mean, you never really can tell until you have it.
Exactly. I mean, you could make the exception to Devontae Smith, though, because that's what we kind of really needed, a wide receiver at that time. But now, looking at the defensive things, we need like a corner and or a linebacker.
And not only that, that's the upper echelon of first rounders. You know what I mean? Like, normally. Yeah, and it depends on position too. You know what I mean? Like, it's different when you have linemen to receivers. You kind of have a good idea what a receiver's going to do.
Oh yeah,
than a lineman, because linemen are kind of difficult to judge because they're going against college.
Yeah, because college is a different level of play.
Yeah,
and not to mention, like a Landon Dickerson. Like I already knew, this guy could fall to like the 4th or 5th round, because I'd probably say entry concerns. That's what I saw. It's just like, and then the fact that it's like, look, I mean, Landon Dickerson, still a good player. I mean, got to overcome those injury issues, but if he can do that, he should be fine.
He looks like he's still hurt.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, that I think it's his knee still that's what's bothering him.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. I'm thinking to myself, like, you could probably just not act. I don't think he was on the IR, if I'm not mistaken, before the season even started. But because I'm kind of thinking, so let the kid rest. Actually, heal up. I mean, Nate Herbig, still a solid player. Jack Driscoll, still solid. But the problem is, though, it's just like, now once Kelsey's gone, he's selling Mallows out for probably most of the year.
Yeah.
Brandon Brooks, God, who knows when he's coming. Oh, that's right. Brandon Brooks is on the defensive end. But we got a lot of tinkering to do on both sides of the football. Mostly, I think center-wise, because who knows how long Kelsey's going to be there.
Brooks's offense, dude. It's Brandon Graham.
Okay,
Brandon
okay.
Graham.
Because I'm kind of flipping other the two.
It's all right.
And that's the thing too, is like Brandon Brooks, though, like before he got hurt, he actually looked pretty good. Despite and I just said this, I'm just kind of beating around the dead horse that he having a double whammy of having back-to-back seasons where he had an Achilles injury. And the fact that it's the second one, he come back, what, 6 months, it's like, there's no, like, this dude's not human. It's like, no one should be recovering from a second Achilles injury and then a time span of 6 months.
Well, he did do a lot of stretching and martial arts stuff, so it's kind of, you know what I mean? So he's kind of flexible, and you can heal from injuries fast.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And different people are, they heal from things differently too. So
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
The time spans, they're skewed for different people.
Yeah, and the fact is, like, and me and my buddy Tyler were talking about this. Obviously the coaching staff needs to really step it up. At times I thought of making a video on Sirianni, but saying he should get canned is like, But then again, my buddy gave me the common sense, like, it's still too. I mean, we're trying to at least give him at least about like year 2, year 3. If it doesn't work out after year 2, then just can him, because like nothing's really going to change. And I said the exact same thing about Miles Sanders. Like my buddy Mitch, that you had on earlier, he made a video about Miles Sanders. Like, it gets to the point that like just trade him. If you're not going to use him properly, just trade him. I mean, it's just that simple.
Well, my view on this is a little different, because I honestly think they're just doing what they're told from Howie. I think they're telling them not to use these running backs as much because they're going to need them next year. They don't want them to get injured.
See, that's true. That is a very good point. And I've been seeing a lot of star running backs going down with it. Saquon is out. Somebody else went down. I don't remember who went down. All I know is that when Saquon went down I just feel like I mean, as much as the way that I saw it, I mean, saying stupid, but since you brought up a good point, I guess maybe that kind of does make a little bit more sense. Save the running backs a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're doing, and I think they're kind of tanking a little bit, to be honest with you, because they know that we're not going to win this year. I mean, you got a rookie. You got most coaches when they come in the NFL, they have a losing season. Their first season is trash.
Yeah. Really, do I really want to make the comparison? Think about when we hired Doug Peterson in 2016.
Yeah,
like we stink.
Yeah.
Next thing we know, I mean, next year we obviously got some veteran pieces. I mean, obviously brought Chris Long towards the end of the season. Really did make a difference. Now, like I said, this is growing pains for this team. We're young. We got, God, how many rookies do we even have? Man, we got a ton of rookies.
A lot. It's a lot.
But yeah. But yeah, man, I just kind of feel like it's just where it's just like, obviously, could you ever say that Rager's a bust the way that he's going? This is what's going around with Jalen Reagor, or is it too soon?
He's got 27 targets to him. He dropped 11. So I don't know. I mean, there's still time, you know what I mean? Like, and you gotta look too. Like not most of them, but a lot of those targets were not to him. you know what I mean, like the ball didn't make it to him.
Yeah, I mean,
catchable.
It's just like know. I mean, I feel like I said yeah. I mean, I think I could say yes, but at this point, I think it's still too soon because he's and this is a second year, so I mean. Let's just say after year 3, if it doesn't really work out after year 3, and then I think it's really, I think that's what we tend to say it's a bust. But maybe some people may say different. I mean, I'm just trying to be fair with some of these players. Devontae Smith, obviously probably one of the better draft picks that we've had. I just wish you could have just done. I mean, it's just feel like we're just like forcing the ball almost 100% of the time to hit. And same with about Quez Watkins too. I had doubts about Quez Watkins, but from what I've been seeing and how hard this kid Watkins has been working, this is
man, he's a good one.
This is like this is going to be a dangerous receiver along with Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
And,
He's like
and that's the
he,
thing too about Watkins too. He makes like the most uncatchable catches that you would ever see. That's
yeah.
like how the hell do you have? I'm guessing he must have worked on like his hand-eye coordination because that is something that's kind of like elite hand-eye coordination.
Well, on during the off season, he did work out with somebody. I don't remember who it was, but he was working out with somebody for his receiving and all that. So
I mean, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. It's just like obviously, man, Javon Hargrave, man. At first, it's like okay, so he's going to. When we first got acquired him, it's just like okay, this is going to, obviously didn't get to have a good start to turn his time here, but obviously with the season, tied fourth in the league in sacks. This is what I mean. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I think
he was good in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but I also got to think too. Like also he had with the slow start that he had here in Philly, and there's sometimes injuries too. That I think he suffered a few injuries.
Yeah,
and I think what's the second season with Philly, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it was the first season with Philly, and like he came into the season last year with the injury. I mean, into our squad. So and it takes time to develop with other players too on that line. You have to get a chemistry going before you can, and learning the scheme. So
That's true. Yeah, true as well. And that's the thing too. I think, and obviously, I don't think I know Brandon Grant said he wants to retire as an Eagle. I mean, which is possible, but yeah, despite being one of the longest tenure Eagles out of that draft class which is crazy to see. Like sometimes when you're a longer tenure Eagle, and sometimes you don't last long here in Philadelphia. I feel like Brandon, and look, I mean, obviously Zach Ertz is another one or two, but I mean, I just feel like some players just when they lose their prime, I mean, it's just like their bodies just break down. I mean, take Fletcher Cox. I mean, he's already 31, 32.
Yeah.
Who knows how long he's gonna last? You know what I mean?
He's been on a decline the past 3 years. So
okay, so I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just like I feel like we need to start looking at some different defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Despite the fact we're going to have a lot of money in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we can do that, get some of the pieces that we need, try to work around things, and then, land, some, significant needs in the draft. I mean, I think this team should be fine going forward.
Yeah. I think it's sad that we have to talk about the draft now because we're, in such a state.
Yeah.
But if I've been saying this in all my podcasts that if we are going to go into the draft, we're going to go heavy defense. We have to go heavy defense and maybe a lineman on the other side on the offense.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I mean we have to. I mean it's showing up. Our linebackers are complete trash.
Yeah, I mean that's no question about it. I mean, as much as Dillard has been pretty good in recent weeks, but it's just like I don't think he's going to live up to what we spent that pick on him. No, Barnett should be an easy pink slip right down in there.
He should have been gone last year.
But here's the thing. I mean, I'm never really having second thoughts about Dillard though, because the way look, I mean, obviously, what's he in this like third year, if I'm not mistaken? I don't know how long because I know Barnett's been here 5 seasons. I know that for certain. But I mean, the way that Dillard's been playing, especially stepped up big time when Mailata was out. I mean, I'm thinking it's like maybe we were wrong about Dillard. Maybe there's some time to work with him because there's something there. Obviously, same with Mailata. Obviously, we all know how that went down. I mean, for the guy who played rugby, never picked up a football,
3 years.
Which is surprising to the fact that got him. Hell, even Aaron Sitbos too, our new punter. Like it's
He's
like
good.
I just feel like more rugby players are going to be coming into the NFL.
Well, they're tough. They're tough, man.
I mean, it's just like it's crazy, but I mean, I just kind of feel like where there's a lot of should be like a lot of retooling going down the line, especially towards the end of the season, though, because like I say, I mean, at this point, I mean, 7-10 looks maybe even less than that. I mean, looks bleak for the Eagles, but
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what my guess is on it anymore. I mean, I came in thinking 7 to 10.
I mean, 5, maybe. I think bad case. I mean, on the worst day, probably 4 and a 13. Well, I don't see it go that far. Maybe
don't know.
Exactly. I mean, it's tough. I mean, obviously, Carolina. I mean, obviously, was a pretty play game on both sides. I mean,
our defense, man, our defense kept us in that game. And,
oh yeah,
and I guess Sam Darnold, he just had a bad day. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean,
if he would have made a few of those passes, it'd have been over for us.
oh yeah. I just kind of feel like, and obviously, especially slight for a guy who's 30, I think 33, but still playing at a high level that he still can be. Same with Steven Nelson.
Old? Is he that old?
I don't know. I'm thinking he's got to be somewhere in his 30s.
I thought he was like 28.
No, that would be Steven Nelson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of. Oh, never mind. He's 30. Holy shit, he's 30. I thought he was a lot. I thought he would have been a lot older than that. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, like you said, defense stepped up. I mean, still, one thing, still penalties needs to be cleaned up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anymore about this. I mean, look, I get it. The future is bright. That I can say, but I know. Look, it is what it is. Like I said before, it's going to be like a roller coaster with this team. Obviously, rookie coaching staff. Yeah. I mean, you got Gannon, who's worked with Sirianni with Indy. So I mean, the issue that I have with him is like I think there was a few. I think in the Atlanta game, I think he blitzed a couple of times, and I saw I mean, no, it's not the Atlanta game. What was the other one? I'm thinking one because we're not blitzing enough because they cannot defend. Most teams cannot defend the blitz. For example, if we could have done that against the 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs, result may have been a bit different.
Yeah,
but that's just kind of what what I saw.
We could have won all these games that we were in, but yeah, but penalties and not doing the right things like running the ball and running a more aggressive defense is what's really held us back.
Oh yeah, I just kind of feel like it's just where some player. I mean, obviously Barnett. I kind of feel like is what accrued most of them. I mean, which is pretty much a given. And it's just I'm surprised at the fact that he's still here. Same with JJ Arcega-Whiteside, and the fact that we cut Travis Fulgham from the practice squad, which kind of pisses me off. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that you still have Jordan Howard still on the practice squad, our third downs are not that great. So one, they bring up a bruiser back.
Yeah. Yep. Short yardage gain back. Yep. I agree. In the red zone and on third downs, we need them.
Yeah. I mean, look,
a smart coach would have.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, not with. It's crazy because now I'm looking at the fact that we had to dealt with Howie for 2 decades is completely insane. But I mean, as a GM, though, look, the good guy's got a good is savvy with restructuring contracts. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
And
and trades. Yeah.
Some good trades. There was some. I mean, it's 50-50, but I just feel like it really is time for not Sirianni. I mean, Howie Roseman. I mean, the leash has been long as it is. I mean, it's long overdue. We need a better GM.
Either that, or he needs to just let the football guys,
do what they do best.
Yeah, the scouts. Let the scouts do the draft. I mean, that's what smart teams do. You know what I mean? But he wants his name written on everything.
Exactly.
It's too much.
And it's not to mention
that's why JJ is still on our team.
Which is absolutely ridiculous.
It is.
But the fact that we could have had. Now, looking back at it, I mean, we could have had a wide receiver trio of Smith, DK Metcalf,
yeah,
and Justin Jefferson. What in the Like,
We'd be in the Super Bowl, bro.
Like, exactly. We had probably the most elite wide receiver core. And
we
obviously,
probably still have Carson Wentz. I don't mean to keep cutting you off, but
you're good. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, though. I mean, some of the draft picks that the Eagles have made, some of them actually were diamond in the rough. Like Kenny Gainwell, when I saw them drafted, I was like, who the hell is this guy? So I had to watch his highlight tape. Like, oh shit. For a guy who's under 6 foot and 200 pounds, it can block with the best of them. I was like, okay. I mean, I think now, like I said before, the issue is we need to have Jordan Howard up here because you got two good elusive backs in Gainwell and Sanders.
Yeah.
And
the fact backs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're both. I feel like Gainwell's a little bit quicker on it, but I mean,
you can catch better.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, you could also use him as a receiver if you needed to. I mean, in some plays.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing too. It's just like I just kind of feel like I don't know. I mean, I feel like we have a lot of retooling to go through going into year 2.
People keep calling this a retool or a rebuild. I think it's a freaking overhaul that we need, really. I mean, we've got too many old players on the team, number one, and it's just, I don't know. We got a long way to go before we start having winning football.
Because like you said, we need to do like an overhaul. I mean, obviously, as much as I hate to say it, I mean, Fletcher Cox does need to go. I know he's done some great things here in Philly, but it's just like he is not getting any younger.
That's
Same with Lane. I mean, as much as I don't know, Lane Johnson is another. I mean, on both sides, like you could really make an argument, to start overhauling some of your older veterans like Kelce. I mean, I know Kelsey's probably going to retire very sooner rather than later. So, I mean, he's probably going to be out. I mean, you could probably overhaul Fletcher Cox, Derek Barnett. I mean, some of these guys who just never panned out.
Yeah, we got to start picking out the weeds, man, for real. And I think instead of getting rid of Fletcher Cox, maybe, cut his pay and have him as a sub-in, you know what I mean, or something.
Yeah, or at least trade him, he gets like some draft compensation in return.
Either way, but or have somebody or draft somebody and have them start subbing in until we get rid of them or something.
Exactly, something like that, because it's like the fact I mean, that brings since you mentioned that brings me to Ryan Kerrigan. What the hell is going on with it?
I don't know, man. He's only had like one hurry since we started the season.
I mean, it's just like, you got the fact that and that's the thing too. God, it's the fact that Brandon Graham is now out, which I feel like, I mean, obviously it does.
It's a huge impact.
Exactly, and the fact, I mean, and don't get me wrong though. I mean, there are times where, when Sweat was in there, like he has stepped up big time when we really needed the most, because I kind of feel like Sweat is going to learn a lot from Kerrigan and especially Brandon Graham. Like, it's just like, obviously, Sweat still is a young kid at 24 years old, but he's been almost becoming a superstar. Like
he's productive. He's very productive. I'll give him
that. I mean, it's just like, if he can, like, obviously, like you said, have somebody sub in and out with Fletcher Cox, because the longer Cox is out there, it's just like you notice there's a difference, because it's like,
just imagine if he had some more rest.
Yeah, I mean,
he could do more damage instead of being out there every snap.
Exactly, and the fact that obviously we need more linebackers. I mean, obviously it stinks because we didn't really have a. Yeah, I mean, the only one that has actually been pretty decent was TJ Edwards.
Yeah, he's really good. But he's more for stopping the run. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's not
that kind of package.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, like he's the only I'm pretty sure the only good. I mean, Singleton's good, but I don't think. I feel like this is like a down year for him.
He's more like a sub-in, dude. You know what I mean? That's why he was so good, because he was somebody that was coming in and he had, wind.
Yeah, and I'm thinking it's just like, look, Marcus Epps, he looks pretty good so far. I mean, nobody. I mean, obviously we are still going to need a safety, because who knows how, because Rodney McLeod on a 1-year deal. who knows if we're going to keep retain. I don't think we're going to retain him because obviously
He's getting older too and injuries.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So start looking at safeties, linebackers, and corners in the draft because you got Slade who's not getting any younger. You got Steven Nelson who's already entering his prime. So I mean, they're also on one. I mean, obviously we got Steven Nelson obviously on a 1-year deal, and this is the final year of Slade's extension during when he got acquired him in the trade with Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have him another year or not. I mean, because he is getting older. I don't know. I have no idea. Man, we need to do a lot.
Yeah, just a complete overhaul. I mean, if we can do that, land like specific pieces. I mean, you got some good depth all around the board in some positions. I mean, you got Mailata, who's a spectacular left tackle, and what he can do. Obviously, knows how to run people over with the rugby background that he has.
Yeah.
This is like,
I was thinking, give him the ball, let him run a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't hurt to try though.
Right?
I mean, he has for guys 330 pounds.
He's carried a ball before.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like couldn't hurt to try.
Yeah,
because it's like he's gonna carry 4 or 5 people with him. It's just like
he's gonna break through the line.
Exactly. I mean, he's gonna. If he can do that, I mean,
give him a running start, man.
Exactly. That's all it is. But it's just like I just feel like they just need to, like you said, get a complete overhaul. I mean, start looking at some different players in free agency that start going after younger players in free agency. Sometimes maybe in the draft if you're lucky. I mean, we got a lot to do in the next handful of years until we start, being competitive again.
Well, I think we'll be competitive, but Super Bowl we're talking a few years out.
I say maybe 5 years, give or take.
Yeah, 3, 5, something like that.
Yes, I was thinking about 3 to that 3 to 5 range,
which stinks.
But I mean,
but then again, we do have upper echelon picks coming our way with Miami losing, and
we got the
Colts pick is going to come. It looks like that because Carson's doing pretty good, good enough to keep them playing him.
Yeah, which is crazy. And I mean, it's and I love the Eagles to death, but it's just like obviously we need to overhaul players. We need a front office change. Like there's a lot that needs to be done with this team. But I don't know. But then again, knowing Laurie, he's going to find a way to keep Howie one way or the other, which is not going to set well with all of us.
No,
not one bit.
No,
but unless something doesn't work out, then if he does can him, credit. I mean, kudos to Laurie, but I doubt it because of the relationship between him and Roseman.
Yeah, I mean they go to the same synagogue together, so
Yeah, and the fact that Howie's been with this franchise for 2 decades, which is crazy to think about. Obviously, as an intern in the early 2000s, didn't become a GM until 2010. It's like, yeah, I think it's time for a change of a GM. 10 years of his nonsense is done.
Yeah, I mean, like I said though, if you look around the league though, and you look at the other GMs, I mean, there's only a few teams that really have good GMs. You know what I mean? And they look at what we got and they want what we have. You know what I mean? So
exactly. I mean, I don't know though. That's just the thing. It's just like
what are you gonna fill them in with? You know what I mean?
That's a very good question though. It's like, I mean, the only reason, I mean, as much as I don't want him as a GM, but I'd rather keep it around, for the contracts and all that stuff. Because if we could, I mean, he's good with that. The fact that he knows how to restructure contracts and save money, I think it really is what's helping us set us up for the next 5 to 10 years, or later down the road, I should say.
What I would do if I was Laurie, instead of firing him, I would just demote him and just give him some responsibilities.
Yeah, I mean, put him in like the finance, or like the payroll department. I don't know how some organizations work.
Human resources,
something like that. I mean, because the fact that he knows some of the players, like like they sometimes they ask for a restructure, and it really does help. The fact that we're obviously with with the Carson Wentz contract that we got, we're still taking the hit of, but the fact that we're going to have over 50 to 60 million later down the road, I mean, that's going to really is what's going to really help set us up.
Yeah. Yeah. So not only are the draft picks that we're going to get, but also, free agency is going to rock.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like you got some like decent, hopefully some good players that can still good, healthy players that can really make an impact. I mean, obviously Stephen Nelson obviously got to a little bit of a slow start, but obviously, really came in clutch against the Carolina Panthers in the game against the Panthers. I mean, and it's just like, Gannon. I mean, and speaking of Gannon too, it's just like, yeah, some of this is the defense is on his blame on him, because it's like you can't make it late, like game adjust. I mean, not early game adjustments, but if you can start like blitzing more, like start like doing like these different setups instead of these coverages. I mean, our defense would be fine if he did not use the coverages a ton.
I got to give him a little bit of credit because he's had more good than bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like some of the coverage, like, I mean, people don't, I mean, that's the thing. It's just like, it doesn't look great, but it's effective.
Yeah. I mean, it's not horrible what he's done so far. I mean, he's kept us in the games. So
yeah, I mean,
except the Dallas game.
Yes. I mean, yeah, I mean, other than that, like, I mean, defense was pretty, I mean, obviously it's Atlanta. I mean, they're not going to be good for years because, I mean, you still got Matt Ryan still stuck there. I mean, the fact that especially with the 49ers, probably one of the better teams in the NFL, held on to less than 20 points, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, that kind of tells you, like, what Gannon can do. And with this defense, like, you don't see good I mean, like you said, other than Dallas, but I mean, you held teams like I mean,
we could have won that game, but it slipped away. So.
Yeah. But I think the best game would be, I mean, it was the loss was the 49ers game. I mean, I'm surprised how close that would have been it, because I would thought, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a blow up because it's the 49ers. But obviously held them to less than 20 points for the almost entire game.
We didn't run the ball. That was the problem.
That was the issue.
Pat Mahomes had too much time on the field, and that's why they scored so much.
Exactly. I mean, the fact that you're not, and I get it, you want to keep your running backs healthy, but at some point in time, like, some defenses are going to pick you apart because of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, our biggest problem, like we've been saying, is the linebackers. I mean, we've been just getting gashed, by running, and it's just terrible. I mean, we did a little bit better the past game, but
yeah. But just we got to start using different running plays on a consistent basis, because, and I said this too, because if you start using running plays, that's really what's going to help you, start setting up some better plays, later in the games. Like, I mean, I can think of one, like, say if Miles Sanders can at least give you, I don't know, like a 30-yard run, if you can get to more than towards past midfield. I mean, you have good, and at times it can give you good field position. So, I mean, and another issue that I think we really need to focus on is the red zone. We need to capitalize on the red zone opportunities.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, yeah, I mean, at times, like when, obviously Jalen Hurts has to run it in, or when Ertz was here, like, starts like, doing like these little screens, like to really capitalize on it. But we got to start doing it on the consistent basis. If not, then we're just going to be in a world of trouble.
Well, a lot of the problem on the offense is the predictability. You know what I mean? Like, we've been running the same 4 plays over and over and over again, and other teams are noticing, and they know what to play against whatever we're doing. So,
and that's what I say. We got to start balancing in running plays every now and again. Stop using the RPOs on a consistent basis, because, like, if you could do like different passing plays, not using RPOs, I mean, there's opportunities to mix it up and just like get rid of the RPOs. If you need a screen pass, so be it. Like, depends on the situation you need it. Like running play, I think feeling more running plays is more of effective to at least capitalize on some opportunities to get some yardage.
Yeah.
Despite the fact, obviously Miles Sanders has the highest rate among running backs in the NFL. Like I think 92.8% from what I saw. I mean, look, the guy is still a good running back, but just gotta use him more, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of.
It sucks. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, despite college football wise, I love Temple and Penn State because it's like, obviously I haven't seen Saquon going down. I mean, sucks because I thought he was just I thought he's still a good player. Sanders, feel like we could do more with him. And you can also at times like if you're using Sanders, you can also use Gainwell in the passing game too. So I mean, you can use both backs when you really need to.
Mm-hmm. I feel bad for you.
Yeah, that sucks.
You might as well that one.
Yeah, it feels his pain. Well, yeah, I mean, it's crazy though. It's just like, and look, I mean, obviously, like you said, it's growing pains. Most are rookies. Some are going to enter their second year. I mean, like Rager, who knows? I mean, I think right now, I feel like it's too soon to call him a bust. But unless something changes with him, I just don't feel like he's going to last here much longer than he has to, because I kind of feel like he's going to be on his way out of Philly sooner than expected. Because it's like, the fact that you say, oh, you want to do the things that you want to work on, but the fact that, I mean, and this problem goes too, like like you said, he's been targeted less. I mean, some of the balls that have been thrown to him, some were underthrown. Sometimes he got lucky with the pass interference call, but some of them needs to be caught. Yeah. I mean, it's plain and simple.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of the balls were thrown right to his hands. I mean, you can't drop those passes,
because if he catches those balls, who knows how much distance he can give you. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, Quez Watkins can give you a whole lot more despite the explosive speed that he has.
Yeah.
Despite people calling him a bust after we drafted him in the 6th round, but we've seen what this kid is capable of, and the fact that he can turn it into the second. I mean, the speed is elite with Quez Watkins. The fact that he can turn into a second gear and outburn you kind of tells you okay, so now if we're gonna have a deadly duo in Smith and Watkins. Yeah. Both decent, really great route running with those two. I feel like
just got to get the ball to him.
Exactly. And just not try to force it. That's another thing too, is we're forcing it down. Mostly just Smith, Watkins. I mean, Watkins kind of has been targeted a little bit less than Smith. I mean, we need to start getting our wide receivers into start doing it as well.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it too is the coaching and how we're positioning the receivers. You know what I mean? You got to do more slants and more, curl routes, and you got to do more different plays, different designs, not just post routes. You know what I mean? That's what it seems like. Everything's a post route or RPO. You know what I mean? And the RPO, it's just, I don't know. It's just too predictable.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's too predictable. But I mean, right now, I mean, it's just we got to really need to step it up. At least some of these games that some of these teams we can beat, in my honest opinion. Like the Chiefs, I mean, obviously the Bucs game, I knew we're not going to beat the Bucs because they're always good with with the players that they have. Obviously, signing Richard Sherman was probably not the best idea that Tampa Bay has had. I mean, the fact that after one play, Sherman hurts his hamstring and just leaves the game. It's
collecting a check.
Yeah.
Can't say I blame him.
I mean, it's a shame though. I mean, I just feel like he was never the same after when he left Seattle. I don't think he wasn't the same after that.
I don't know. Devontae Smith did break his ankles.
Yeah. My buddy Dante's up in the chat. What's going on, my guy? Coach? Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's just I don't know. It's crazy though. It's just it's I mean, I don't know though. It's just at times it's like, yeah, I'll rather watch the. I mean, if there are times where it's like if the Eagles are getting their ass kicked, it's like, yeah, turn it off. And then I check on social media that they're coming back. It's like, what the hell? What the hell? And it's like, okay, maybe I should stop watching the game. Maybe that will help.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've definitely wanted to change the game off a couple times this year already, but being a content creator kind of can't, so,
Yeah, true.
yeah. So
I mean,
I was definitely screaming at the TV last game.
And it's like it just gives you a headache just watching it.
Yeah. So Nick Sirianni was saying that he doesn't script the plays.
Ooh,
that is bad. Like he the last game. He said he scripted the first drive, and the rest was like off the cuff.
Yeesh.
That's really bad.
Because like you gotta script them. Like you gotta know. You gotta look at it. Like the fact they say, "Oh, I don't script it except for one drive," kind of tells you, like, yikes. Like,
well, that's exactly what you're seeing. RPOs. That's it.
Exactly. Like,
hey, why don't you just go ahead and throw the screen to the right, to the left? See if that works. See what works.
Exactly. It's just like you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure at that point if you don't.
No plan. There's no plan.
It's just like, I don't know though. It's just like it's weird because it's like where it's just like if he does script it, maybe like some of the games that we play could have been look a lot different than it should have been.
Yeah,
we would have had at least a 500 record if he scripted those out.
Yeah. Now what I was saying, to myself is like, all right, well, normally head coaches script it and they'll have like an A, B, or C plan to whatever the defense is doing. You know what I mean? Like to whatever plan that they're scripted.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
this is just insanity. I mean, this coach is really green.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's a rookie head coach, but like you said, he is super. I mean, he is not going to be the green. He's super green to the point where he's not going to be like Eagles green at this point.
Oh man!
But I mean, there is if he can. I mean, I know. I mean, it sounds like a stretch, but he's got to. I think if you're going into year 2, you got to learn how to script plays. Because if you can do that,
he needs to do it now.
Exactly, and then take that same approach and go into year 2. It's just like, what are you doing? Like you're really like, I mean, obviously, like if you script, I mean, obviously the Atlanta game, I feel like he scripted that one because of the way that we put up points on the board and the way that was well planned all around. But going and say the 49ers, the Panthers, the Buccaneers, like, and the Patriots, like. I mean, it's like it speaks for itself. I mean, with the lack of planning is what's going to kill you.
Yeah, if you, I mean, like, all right, I'm sure that they like were running plays, during practice or whatever. But if it's not scripted, then you don't have like an agenda. Like you don't have, it's not well thought out. And like, I mean, you can write down what they're doing, but that kind of, you got to do what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like you've got to impose your will on a team.
Exactly. And the fact that it's like, do these basic fundamentals. Like, where are the fundamentals that you've been preaching about since you got hired?
That's part of being fundamentally sound.
Exactly. It's just like, I don't know. I mean,
a bunch of head scratching going on, man. Bunch of head scratching.
It's a tremendous head scratcher with this team. But I mean, I get it. I mean, obviously, not the best start we had. I mean, obviously, it's year 1 of of an overhaul, hopefully, because like if Sirianni can do, God forbid, at least scripts some plays up, really can at least help you. Then I wouldn't say. I mean, this would have been a whiff of a coaching hire. But if it does, can be a continuing pattern of not scripting plays, just tanking at this point. I mean, would you even just can Sirianni at this point if this is going to keep continuing?
Well, the thing is, I I don't think they're trying to win. I think it's the opposite. I think they're trying to lose, and what you're seeing is that. You know what I mean? And I think they're trying to do it so they can get higher draft picks. And you know, it sucks to watch. I mean, but that's what it looks like to me. I mean,
Got
doesn't
it.
it?
I mean, it does look like it, but it also reminds me when the Jaguars and the Jets were going at it to get that number one overall pick.
Mm.
That's
But
just
they're
like
being competitive just enough to get butts and seats. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Just to sell tickets. That's it. That's what they're doing, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we kind of pretty much hit everything on the head with the birds at this point
Yeah.
until we find something else. But I mean, good luck to Zach Ertz as Arizona, man. It sucks, but we had a feeling this was going to come sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I thought he was going to go before the season. So,
because I was thinking at the trade deadline, it was at the best you're going to at least move him.
mm,
But yeah, good luck to Zach Ertz. I mean, obviously playing with the team that is very stacked,
mm.
which is, it's just like, well, yeah, man, it is what it is. Like, we really can't. I mean, we all know that he's going to retire as the Eagle at some point in his career. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah, he's going to come back like McCoy and retire.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
because McCoy. Actually, speaking of McCoy, man, it's like that kind of annoyed. That still leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Like, how the hell do you, like, and not just that too. It's just like obviously Chip Kelly traded him. What's funny is Chip Kelly actually knows how to do running plays. It's like, oh my lord! It's like, but then again, obviously a couple winning seasons under Chip Kelly, which is surprising to say the least. But I mean, obviously, just never worked out.
Well, it's kind of like to the same effect that Nick Sirianni is. You know what I mean? Like, but we're not winning. Like,
That's true.
The league found out what he was doing, and then they stopped it. He was running like 4 plays or whatever, and then the league found out what they were doing, and they just put a stop to it. That's exactly what's happening with this coach, except the league is caught up to it a lot faster. They you know what I mean? Like they know what he's doing.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, Jerry, man, thanks for coming on, man. At least we can like talk birds for almost about an hour because I think we pretty much covered everything, so up to this point. But
yeah,
if you guys haven't checked this guy out, his channel link is in the description. Go sub him up. I mean, it's never really. Got to help all of our Eagles content creators out of here. But with that all out of the way. This is Robert from the Philly Sports Talk podcast and my good buddy Jerry. We are out of here.
peace.